Welcome to the Limerick Post Show with me, Meghann Scully. Now she needs no introduction at all. It is Limerick singer-songwriter Emma Langford. How are you getting on?
I'm good. I'm not too bad, all things considered.
I have to say, I love your setup there. I mean, it just looks so professional, and I'm loving the teddy bear in the back and everything. It looks great what you have.
Yeah, nothing says rock and roll star like a teddy bear in the background.
Oh, I'll tell you, I know I have a teddy bear here with me for 30 years and I'm like obsessed with it.
Moral support, you need it.
Exactly. So Emma, the reason we're chatting to you today is it's actually nearly a year since we last spoke, that time in 101, but you've got another new song out, Mariana, which I absolutely adore. Can you tell me about the song?
Well, I can't believe it's that long since we talked.
I know.
Yeah, the song, I suppose, I wrote it a couple of years ago now. I had just come back from traveling in Argentina, and I'd met a woman there that really inspired me and really touched my heart. And I wanted to write something for her in her honor. And it took a while for it to come, and then I actually lost a friend who I had met when I was traveling in South America, and this really amazing girl who was dying to, she wanted to be a translator, and she wanted to come to Ireland, and she wanted to travel the world. You know, she was just one of these incredibly charismatic people, and she died very suddenly. And then the song kind of came to me through that as kind of, I suppose, therapy in a way. And I shelved it, and I didn't think anything else about it. And then in the last couple of years, when I was putting together the new album, that song sort of resurfaced in my memory, and it's come out a couple of times because I've had a few opportunities to pay tribute to women, important, amazing women, and that song really fit the bill. So I decided I would kind of rework it. I'd figure out where I was going with it. I brought it to my producers, and they created an actual track around it, and it became what it is. So now it's I released it early. I didn't intend on releasing a single during lockdown, and then just kind of felt like people wanted new music, and they wanted something that was uplifting and hopeful, and I wanted to release something, and then that song felt like the right one. So I just said I'd pull it together, and had a word with Sophia Cadigan, who made the music video for it. Let her know kind of roughly what the ideas around it were, and she started producing something. And when we went into production for the music video, Leslie Ann Ledan died, who's a friend of mine, and a very loved and respected businesswoman around Limerick. So I decided I would actually release the track in her memory, and kind of in her honor as well, because I just wanted to do something. It was, yeah.
It was a lovely thing to do as well. And actually, Emma, the first time I ever saw you was in Shayla Fab. This is going back, gosh, it must be 3 or 4 years ago now. I used to do the open mic nights, and my former housemates used to play music. So was it on a Tuesday or Wednesday? It was midweek anyways. And we'd head down, and my house, I can't sing myself, so I'd sit there and watch, and my housemates would perform, and it was always such a lovely venue, and she was always so welcoming, and it was just such a cool place to go. I loved going there. But that's the first time I ever remember it's like seeing you, and obviously then after that getting to know you then through music and through work. So I always think back to like Shayla Fab and what a special place it was for everyone.
Yeah, it was a real hub for that kind of thing. There's a lot of relationships and friendships and connections that sprung up just through stuff that happened there, and I think that's what made it really special. It felt like somewhere you could meet people, and you could generate ideas and talk about stuff, which, you know, the place was like a beating heart. You know, there was so much happening, there was so much energy, and that was really Leslie Ann's legacy, is that she left that sense of she didn't leave any stone unturned. Like I've gone to visit the now empty building a couple of times, just to take a look inside, and looking around the empty building, I still see her, and I still see everything in there. Like there's no place in that room that she isn't, you know, or that, you know, that you don't see some spark of energy or something magical that happened, some gorgeous interaction with a new friend or a stranger. So it's a really beautiful place for that.
And not to mention as well all the dogs that I used to love going in and being like, who's got dogs in here today?
Yeah. As a dog fanatic myself, I agree. That was a big draw for me, and I like it. You know, there's lots of beautiful dog friendly places open in Limerick now, which was actually a big initiative of Leslie Ann's as well, the dog friendly Limerick motion. But I just think that was somewhere that you could go, you could have a coffee, play a game of chess, and meet a good dog, and you know, that's kind of the dream.
It literally is. Everything you mentioned there is like the best. I want to just go back to the music video for Mariana, because it's stunning. Like I felt like obviously watch the video. I was just completely like taken by it, and it was just so beautiful and so well shot as well.
Yeah, Sophia did a really gorgeous job of it. I went to her with the track, and I had a vague idea of what I wanted to achieve with it, because I suppose there was one night, and do you know what, we started producing the video, I suppose, just under a month ago. I dropped Sophia a message on Twitter, and I kind of said to her, look, I know this is a long shot, but if you have the time and if you have the interest, would you be up for working on this? And what happened was I was standing in my own kitchen in my own dressing gown, looking around at the tap dripping and at the sweeping brush leaning against the wall, and the dust and the debris of the day that had just passed. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. I looked like shite, and I caught my own eye in the mirror, and I kind of went, you know what, there's a beauty to this as well. And there's something to those moments of stillness and reflection that I want to capture the strength of that. I want to capture the beauty of those moments in our lives where you can stop and you can take stock and you can decide tomorrow is going to be better. And you can find that place in your own mind. You know, we can't go outside right now very far. We can't go to the places we love physically, but we can go there in our minds, and we can find that strength in ourselves as well. So I dropped Sophia a message, and thankfully she's exactly as cracked as I am. So I sent her this big rambling message about kind of what I wanted to achieve, and she came back to me. She's like, yeah, got it, no bother. And in 2 weeks, between herself, she's living with Paddy Casey and with Paddy's daughter Saoirse. So between the three of them, between the three of them, they put it together. Sophia was the driving force behind it, and Paddy, she describes as the muscles to hold the gimbal. Saoirse was the production assistant. So between a lot of them, they pulled something really, really beautiful together in 2 weeks in isolation. And that was the incredible thing, because Sophia was kind of saying, oh, I only have like 2 very basic cameras, I don't have like steady cam or all that kind of stuff that you'd need for a full production. But she didn't let it stop her. She kind of put it all together and made something that looks like it was made by a full team of professionals. Like,
I never would have guessed that was made in lockdown. I genuinely would not have. So I'm like literally like, wow, because it just shows really. I suppose that you don't need all the big setup either. Once you have like I said, just a camera, you can go. And I even think nowadays with us and Liverpool show, once we have an iPhone, like we can shoot and take interviews and everything. So it's just great to see the way that everything is changing. But how are you finding lockdown as a musician and as someone who is so creative?
I'm finding it I found it really challenging initially, just to adjust and adapt and get my head around the very stark reality that it's a very long time before I'm going to be able to be back on stage. And that's just, and now they've released the new phased plan as well. So, you know, gigs are phase 5, and realistically that could be next year, which does mean that I'm going to have to find a new way of working. We're going to have to rethink again, I think, how we're approaching our careers, which is challenging and quite daunting. But I have found it really good in terms of it's backed me into a corner. I've had to figure out how to use technology in a way that I never had to before. Like, it was an option before, but now I have to. I don't have a choice. It's bringing me closer to a lot of people. I'm connecting with people a lot more than I would have before. And you know what, as someone who, I'm not someone who thrives in groups or thrives socially. I quite like talking to people one-on-one, and I like kind of my own space. I like to be able to pick and choose when I spend time around people. So it kind of suits me to a large degree as well. That being said, I really miss pints. And you know, I miss all the little pleasures of just going into town and meeting people, but I'm doing okay generally, yeah.
I know you do. It's funny. It's the simple things. You mentioned there how you can earlier that you can go. So if you know we can't go to certain places, but we can go there in our mind because we've been there before. And I even find I'm looking back on my photo like memories of my on my camera phone from like last year and the year before, and I'm like, oh, you know, that was such a lovely moment. And instead of looking back feeling sorry, I look back and I think, oh wow, like you know, all those special moments we had, and you know, we'll have them again. We just don't know when. But I suppose now I feel like we're going to come out of this and be so grateful for, as you said, literally going for a pint, going for coffee, sitting down, sitting beside people, not having to like stay away, and being able to, I think even just see someone and give them a hug is going to be like the most amazing moment for us all.
For sure, yeah. I've said it a few times now. I'm not looking forward to the big social gatherings as much as I'm looking forward to not being afraid to hug someone I love. You know, that's, and not being afraid for someone's health and safety if I go too near them. Yeah, that it's wild. That's a simple thing, but there's, you know, there's people all over the world that have had to deal with this for so long, outside of the context of a global pandemic. People who just, this is the way their society has had to function in the past, and we're getting a taste of it. It's not nice, but I think it is really giving us a sense of gratitude and compassion for those people.
Absolutely, it is. Emma Langford, it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you again, and I can't wait till we can be in studio chatting together and not have to be so socially distant. And as I said, Mariana is out now. It's a beautiful song. It's obviously a beautiful tribute as well, and the music video as well. So thank you so much for sharing that with us during lockdown as well.
Thanks, Meghann. Thanks for having me.